Learn how you can meet and attract a girl of your dreams during the daytime.
You're listening to the Day Game Podcast with Andy Osha and Mark Mowgli.
Brought to you by daygame.com and PUA Training.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Day Game Podcast. I'm Andy Osha, and I think this is number 24 or 5. I've lost count. Man, the podcast last time, everyone seemed to like the Baxter one, but I tell you what, the one before that with Alan Roger Curry, we had, I mean, at the time of doing this podcast, something like 55 comments or something, which is the most commented on podcast we've done to date, which is interesting because it's the only podcast we've had a guest from America, you know, Skype calling them, which is interesting. So for this one, I thought we'd try something similar because I thought, you know, it's kind of, I decided very early on that I wanted to get guys in the studio, in the podcast studio, because it just creates a much better vibe. It's kind of fun. And I'm always going to be trying to do that. And I mean, Alan, the only reason I got him on the show is because I know that he's coming into the studio when he comes over to London for the Direct Dating Summit. But everyone seemed to love it, even though there was a couple of problems with some guys getting beeps during the instead of, you know, replacing the actual interview. But I actually fixed that. But this time I thought, well, okay, who else do I really, really love? There's Alan Roger Curry, who's my hero, because you know, I read Mode 1 and thought this is how it should be done. And if you guys haven't read Mode 1 yet, you guys really should check it out. Go to mode1.net. And I thought, okay, if I open the you know, the Day Game HQ podcast doors open to the world, and you know, open the Skype window, and I can interview anybody, who else could I possibly want that, you know, that I love? And, well, it's got to be David X. If you guys haven't heard of David X before, then I don't know where you've been, because this guy, again, is another hero of mine. I just love the stuff he talks about, all about being direct and honest. And, you know, it would be, you know, a tragedy not to bring in the same guy that helped us interview Alan Roger Curry. So, Sasha's back. All right, mate.
What up? That was the long... I thought I was going to take a nap there. Jesus, come on, dude. We got an hour. Dave's waiting for us.
How you doing, mate?
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm always excited when we're talking to one of these guys.
Yeah, good.
Today's no difference. I see you crackling your knuckles in anticipation.
Yeah, it's a new skill I've got. I could never crack my knuckles growing up, but...
So, the man himself... Now, this is... What's interesting about this is, like, this is the guy that sort of... really responsible for the whole thing kicking off, right? If people don't know the story, Dave was supposed to come to the UK back in August, and that fell apart because there was the whole tornado thing, and not tornado, volcano exploding, and it was all crazy.
Acts of God.
And I was totally. And I was just furious. I was just angry. I was calling him, "This is bullshit. He needs to come to the UK." And
is that what you sound like when you're angry?
I go black. This is bullshit, man. We need to get some motherfuckers over here. So you know the story, and then we talked, and we decided to you know, to make this whole massive event, and yeah, so here he is. But this is the guy that, like, the very first time when I started, when I got back into game, this is the first time I heard any direct stuff. It was David X, and it was like it was like, what? It was like, what are you talking about? Just telling girls they're hot and you want to fuck them and all this kind of stuff. It was almost, and it was so motivational to hear it. Just to hear him talk, you know, it's such a shift in reality, and I think it is for a lot of people. And then, you know, I started doing little bits of it, but I never really applied it fully because it's such a massive shift. We took little bits of it, but to actually go from, oh, hey, I like your furry hat, to, I want to fuck you.
Yeah, but come on, you don't have to be like that, you know, sure. Extreme.
But, you know, but this is the guy who you know, was my first ever sort of taste of direct, and obviously, you know, a lot of stuff has happened since then, but it's so, and we had all these inside jokes, you know, about David X doing his voice and all the funny stuff he says, and it's just so much fun. So so he's a legend, and he's from Toronto. Like me, he's one of my people.
Nice.
All the best PUAs are from Canada.
No, I think they're from London, actually. But that's an argument for another podcast, I think.
I think both, actually.
What's interesting about David, though, is that he's in you know, the quote unquote seduction community, where Alan Roger Curry, he's a bit more niche, I suppose. It's like kind of hidden. I thought I discovered, oh, Alan Roger Curry, my secret little hero that no one knows about, you know. And then I met you and other people who've heard about him. But
yeah, well, we're certainly changing that up now. But yeah, Dave's he's a bit more out there.
Like, yeah, people know his name
more.
You know?
Yeah, I find it weird. I went on, you know, Wikipedia, and apparently I heard there was like a beef. So the Wikipedia people apparently are fans of mystery. So they went and they erased. And they said to Alan he wasn't important enough, and they erased him. But that's bullshit. I mean, he's very.
Isn't Wikipedia user content?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. That's why it's bullshit that the people, the admins, went and erased this thing, which is ridiculous. I'm gonna start. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the page up, and I'm gonna get people to moan and bitch. Seriously, if it goes down, because I'm angry about that. But anyways, that's another topic. But so Dave obviously is coming to the summit, and so we're gonna pick his brains and just talk to him. And
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. How long is it? What is it? A month away? 2 months? What is it?
It's less. It's like just over 3 weeks away. Now.
You're joking?
November 20th, dude. Yeah.
Fuck,
time's
flown.
October 27th. I know, dude. It's ridiculous. I'm pooping myself. There's just so much to do still.
No, it's rare that I look forward to going to somebody else's event or seminar. Cause,
did you buy your ticket yet?
I get to go free. I'm gonna be at the back. You know. But yeah, like you get invited to places and seminars and stuff because we've been in it for a while now, and we're like, okay, well, we've kind of we think or we know, okay, this is what we do now. This is fine. I've learned enough almost, and you go out and do it. But this stuff is very, very radical. It's like I feel like I'm going to learn something going to this thing, which is nice. I'm so excited.
It's going to be pretty sweet. But as we know, we're on a short time scale for this.
Yeah, so, well, let's do it. Let's get Dave on.
Let's call Dave.
Let's call Dave, and you guys are going to love his stories. I can't wait to hear them. To be honest, it's going to be great. So yeah, without further ado, let's give David X a call.
The Day Game Podcast.
David X.
Hi guys, what's up?
Hey Dave, how's it going? Andy Yosha here.
Well, that ruins my intro. I was going to make it official. I was going to be like, Dave, this is my friend Andy. Andy's my friend Dave. And you just came right in there. And now it's just...
What, do you want to start again?
Let's start again.
Okay. Dave, you've got to pretend to say hello again, as if we just...
Right, I'll just do a fake ringing sound. Ready?
Are we going to do the... Are you going to do the whole call again,
too? Just stay there, right? Just play along, Dave. Just play along. It's going to be fun. Ring, 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 ring.
This is David X going to a mental ward.
Right.
And he's gonna.
Right, look, I'm gonna do ring ring, and then you're gonna go click hello, and then I'm gonna. All right, that's how we're gonna do it. Right, here we go. Ring 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 ring.
Click.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Dave, it's Sasha in England. I wanted to introduce you to my buddy Andy Yosha.
Hey, mate, how's it going?
Good. Hey, Andy, what's up?
I'm right, mate.
Are you from London?
I am from London. This is a fresh English accent coming right at you from Britain. How are you?
Good. So, what are you guys up to? It's you didn't go out today, did you? Because what's the weather there? What is it? Cold this time of year? It's getting cold.
Yeah, the summer is officially over, mate. I don't know what it's like where you are. Whereabouts are you?
Montreal.
Is that in Canada?
Where they have women with teeth. It's really nice, actually. Really fantastic.
I haven't been, mate. I don't know what it's like this time of year. Is it getting cold? It's getting cold.
I can't believe we're talking about the fucking weather. With David X, he's one of the fucking he's amazing. And his first, hey, so is it chilly over there, you guys? I'm going to punch you in the face, Dave. What the fuck?
Hey, you know why I like cold weather? Because women's nipples get hard in this weather.
There we go.
It was there it is right there. It was joke number one.
You see, no, that's. I guess I pay attention to what I'm focused on. The weather, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Whatever you do, you can take any aspect of any part of life. If you're focused on what you want, you can have it to help you.
That's a good point.
I like that. So in other words, you're saying even though it's cold and maybe rainy, and some people might be thinking, do you know what? I might stay in today. David X says, hell no, go out there, talk to some girls.
Let's talk to some girls with pricky nipples.
Do you know, I want to tell you something. When I was in England, it may be a long time ago, and I was a lot younger there. But you know what I liked about? I lived in England, not that long a time, but I lived through some English weather. And you know what I found in English weather? We had on this farm that I was working on, they had a room which was like a lounge that you'd go to at night after you worked in the field and after you had supper. You'd sometimes go back at night and just sit there and, you'd listen to the radio or watch some TV or read a book or have a cup of tea. And you'd be sitting there and it was damp and cold outside. And, knowing what I know, women are always colder than men. So using that knowledge in a good way, the first thing you have to do with a woman, and I'm different than most guys because I look at how I can get to what I would like to end up happening. And what I would do is I would go to a girl, and if she would be wearing a blanket or something, I'd say, "Oh, you look so cold. Can I do something to make you feel so much warmer?" And I'd say, "Get up for a second." I'd get her up. I'd say, "Let me just give you a hug." And I'd give them a hug, which it changes the whole atmosphere, the whole context of what you're doing, because you've had physical contact, and basically it's intimate physical contact. Depending the degree of what the girl was, if she's a bitch or not, I could go from saying, that felt so nice, I needed that, to I have to be honest with you, I'm really not from the planet Earth. I come from another planet in another solar system, and we've just had sex. I'm having your baby. I would do stuff like that to show and to emphasize the physical contact that I've already created. I've taken away a lot of the barriers of what I want to end up doing for the evening.
Yeah, it seems like
so whether, although I understand you wanting to get on to the interview, but weather is one aspect of everyday life. You can turn that for your favor.
I like it.
If it's a hot summer day, maybe you grab a magazine and you go over to the girl and you start fanning her and saying, "You looked so hot. Although you're a hot-looking girl, I wanted to cool you down a little bit till I get to know you." See, I would think of something like that. Weather is important. When you're focused on what you want to end up with, you create the scenario, the fantasy, what you want. I'm never thinking about what she's thinking about, what she's doing. She's reading a book, maybe with her other hand she's playing with her pussy hair. Who the fuck knows what she's doing?
But that's good about the weather. I've got a similar thing where if it's cold, as soon as I talk to a girl on the street or whatever, I'll just be like, "Oh, you're cold. Let me see your hands," and I'll grab her hands. And as long as her hands are colder than mine, I'll just immediately cup them into my hands and I'll start rubbing and holding her hands. So then I'll continue the conversation, but we're holding hands. It's beautiful. And of course, if her hands are warmer than mine, I'll be like, "Oh, that's it. You got to warm me up," and I'll stick my hands in between.
See, I do something different with the hands. When I grab their hands and I first thing I say, if I grab her hands and they're cold, I tell her, "You know what it means to have cold hands?" And she says, "What?" I said, "It means a few things. The first thing, it means you have a cold heart."
What's the second?
The second thing, it means if you put them on my balls so cold, I'll jump like crazy.
Nice. I thought it was going to be a joke about there must be lots of blood in your vagina. It's all the blood's in your vagina. No, clearly.
She's not a thermometer. You work at absolutes. You tell her to sit down, lift her legs around up to her shoulders, and become a thermometer.
Do you know what? At this point, I'm going to break in and say that there's a lot of guys, listening to this from Daygame.com who, just in case they don't know the great David X.
David X, a dirty old man, everybody. Just so you're all clear, he's a dirty old bitch.
I think it might be worth, for those guys who are not quite sure, like, who's this guy? What's going on? They haven't really given this guy an intro. There's just some guy in America, talking about the weather and stuff. So, Dave, I mean, you've probably said this a million times to people, but is there like a little quick little kind of synopsis of who you are? What's your story, man? I mean, I know it, but I don't know if my listeners know it.
I'd say as easy as I could put it, I say I'm a guy who's been very lucky in his lifetime, and I don't believe that I'm any different than any other guy. I just believe I learned how to focus And I'm a very focused kind of person. That's the key to everything. And most of my life, I have to be honest with you, I didn't believe there were guys out there that had trouble with women. I thought everybody was like me. I was naive. When I finally, I'd say in my 40s, found out there were guys out there like our students and our, the people that come to us for help, I said, shit, that's even better. More guys like that, the more women for me. And then, as I got older and I decided to change again my complete direction of my life, I was begged and asked by some friends to help guys get over their hurdles, I should say. And I started to really try to relate to these guys how it would be as if I had one of my first guys I talked to was 26 years old and he was still a virgin.
Wow.
And I go, wow, a virgin at 26. Oh man, I didn't believe it. And the more I found out there was guys out there, I mean, I don't want to tell you how young I was the first time I got laid. I can't believe it. It's like incredible compared to these guys. At 17, I was a qualified whoremaster already.
So
at 15, I was hunting like crazy. I started even younger than that, and there's guys out there who all those years I was fucking with the younger broads, and all those years. I mean, when you're two 14-year-olds fucking, nothing's illegal. You don't think you're going to get caught for fucking a 14-year-old broad when you're 14. It doesn't seem like it's going to be. And how did she know more than me on everything? Wow, this is fun. And these guys in their 20s are virgins.
Dave, what do you associate your early, I don't know what you call it, early confidence, early kind of knowledge, and because I know me and Sasha came from very different backgrounds. I'm sure you talked a lot with Sasha, and yeah, me the same. Like I was not like that. I lost my virginity when I was 17, and I never really my background is very, very different to yours. I didn't have success until I found out about this knowledge, at the age of, what was I, 24? 23, 24, something like that. So what do you attribute your early, success and stuff? Like, was it your childhood, or was it just something inside you? What do you think? What makes you different to that 27-year-old?
I could say that the first woman that I had sex with was older than me, and she initiated a lot, but I was driven by the hardness of my dick. It was turning me on so much I couldn't stop. So, yeah, that's what drove me. And I'd say that's what drove me all my life. It's because, I have to tell you, the worst period of my life was between 14 and 15 and a half was the worst period, because my parents had moved away from where I was established, getting laid already. They moved away, and I was all new people. I had to meet new people, and it was too hard to get back to the old place where we lived before. And that was where I could say from 14 to 15 and a half, maybe I fucked 10 to 12 times that whole time. And that to me was like incredibly little. I don't remember when I wasn't fucking. It seems like I went from not caring if I was fucking to fucking. As soon as I could get a hard on, it was working for me. What drove me? The enjoyment. I don't know. I don't know. If I saw something I wanted, I said it. It's, here, it's like, and I make this analogy with a lot of students too. It's like you go to a buffet with a tray and you're passing in front of all the food, but you're like afraid to say, give me a plate of that or give me a plate of that. You're looking at the food, your mouth watering, your mouth waters, it tastes it. You get an appetite from visual looking at it. Well, I still say there's only two things you're supposed to do on this planet is eat and fuck. So if you eat and your body tells you, looks at the food and says that's an appetite. When you look at a woman, you gotta have the same kind of sexual appetite. Ooh, would I like to do this and that and the other to her? And I treat it the same way as I do when I'm eating supper. I'm focused on what I want. I'm not focusing on the fucking hamburger thinking he's going to eat me.
No, Dave, that's why I love your stuff. Same reason the podcast before last, me and Sasha had your mate Alan Roger Curry on the show, which was a blast. And because I'm a massive fan of just being what Alan calls in his book straightforward,
upfront and straightforward.
Mode 1. I'm sure you guys talk about Mode 1 all the time. And I know that you.
No, we don't. You know what? I have to be honest with you.
Okay.
I don't talk to Alan about any of this stuff. We're just buddies, I like Alan because out of all the guys out there, he is one of the ones that I think is straight. He's like not bullshitting everybody. Now, I like a guy who's got integrity, convictions, and he knows what he wants, and he's a nice guy. I'll tell you, the funny thing was, I've never really read any of the other guys' stuff. Nobody's. I don't watch any of it. I don't read any of it. I have people who work for me who do that, and they tell me what's in it. And one day, one of my assistants comes up to me and says, "Oh, this guy, Alan Roger Curry, he's just like you. He thinks a lot like you, Dave." So I said, "That's great." So they introduced me to him, and he did an interview of me, and I liked the guy immediately. We call each other brother from a different mother. I mean, I really enjoy talking to him, and I think he enjoys talking to me. I can only say from what I feel, but I don't look at him as what he does or what he says. My biggest beef is with guys who call me up and say, "Hey, who do you like? And I tell them, I only like me. I've never gotten one bit of advice, or let me change that. I've never heard one bit of advice from anybody else that I would listen to at all. Now, I've never gotten advice from Alan, so I don't know what his advice would be, but I've never needed anybody's advice. I've been very successful without any help from anyone else. And when I started to listen to other guys, I got disgusted with what I thought they were misleading. These young guys who were looking for guys like us. See, I don't want to come off like I'm a righteous guy because I love my sense of humor, and I think I'm just as warped as everybody else in their own right. But I don't understand how people can't have the same enjoyment that I've had in my life. You all deserve it. Rich or poor, you can all have it the same. Doesn't make a difference if you have wealth or you don't. What you can achieve by just concentrating, and I've put it down to 2 simple rules with a couple of basic theological things, and you should lead your life and enjoy your life, and you don't need anybody to help you after that. I love the fact that my graduates, after they graduate, they don't need to call me up anymore. I love the fact every once in a while they give me a call and tell me how their life is going, and I love enjoying kidding around with them and knowing that now they're and they send me letters, and they, I get calls from guys. It's a big joke I have. I tell them at the beginning, you're going to end up calling me up and telling me I'm right. I said, everybody tells me I'm right. I don't want to be right. I want you to go get laid. That's all I want.
Nice, cool. It's really rewarding,
and the thing is, they call me up. I've gotten guys, if I put my testimonials on the site, you'd think I'm really crazy because I have so many testimonials. I've got one problem student right now, and I'm working with him on a real personal level because it's a case that he's 27 years old, and he doesn't, not only has he never had a girlfriend, he's never had a friend. He was over-sheltered, but, his history is irrelevant. Let's get on with your life and get it enjoyed, get it working and he's a bright guy. And the amazing thing is, the more intelligent people are, the more trouble they have.
Yeah,
it's not. It's incredible. My students, and it's amazing. I'd say they're all high to genius IQs. You speak to these guys and you go, God, how could a girl not want to be with a man like this? They don't want to hurt anybody. I mean, I won't talk to anybody that wants to harm a woman. I don't believe in that. But I tell them, listen, here, this is my shopping list. I even give you a shopping list and a list of what drinks you should make in your apartment and what you should have. And I even tell you how to buy the booze, I tell them, I buy my white wine. I go into a liquor store and I tell them, give me the cheapest white wine with the highest alcohol content. That's the way I buy my liquor. I tell them the drinks, how to make them, how to impress the women with it. These are little aids, tricks, yes, tricks. I don't tell you to get them drunk. I don't tell you to put any chemicals into their drinks. Offer them a drink. If they drink a glass of wine, it's not your fault, but it might ease the tension. Offer them a Irish coffee. Offer them a beer. Whatever you want, you have here.
I just want to point out that David X's principles do not rely around getting girls alcoholic drinks.
Rule number one.
Yeah, rule number one is not get some cheap wine from the store. Just so we're clear, folks.
No, Dave.
When I invite somebody over to my apartment when I was single, I'd say, come over for a drink. Oh, I like beer. Yeah, beer? Yeah, I got beer. Yeah, I like tequila. Yeah, I got tequila. I would be prepared, like a Boy Scout. I'm prepared. Come over to my place, relax. When you offer a friend a beer, it's to relax. You go to a pub to have a beer to relax, to unwind. What, they're trying to get you drunk to take your money? Here, this is a concept. Let's give this guy lots of alcohol, and he'll pay us lots of money for lots of alcohol. Oh, what do you call that? A pub.
Can't believe we're talking to Dave about alcohol.
What's that?
Listen, I said I can't believe we're talking about. You've got so much wisdom to share, and you're telling people to buy the cheap wine, Dave. Come on. We can do better than this, Dave. We can do better than this. Look, here's a topic that you like. That's not booze related. I think what you were saying before is really interesting. How that you don't listen to all this stuff because it's all crap, and how most guys are being taught to avoid telling women what they really think. They're being taught to use all kinds of fucking routines, gimmicks, not let, just...
Subterfuge.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Like, basically, you're a pussy, so don't let the woman you like her try and win her over and show off how fucking awesome, and then later on tell her that you like her. So basically, lie to her for a while and then see if you can... It's fucking shit. And I think it's all based on men just being terrified of rejection. That's what they're terrified of. They're terrified of rejection, and they're trying to avoid it at all costs. And I think it's really good for you to fucking get rejected. I think it's great.
Let me ask you a funny question, okay? Let me ask you a funny question. Men are terrified of rejection, okay? I agree with you. Now, if the girl is ugly, they're not terrified anymore. They're only terrified if she's good looking. And the better looking she is, the more terrified they are.
Yep.
Now, Jesus. Really, if you think about that for a while, it really sounds fucking stupid, because after you're fucking somebody for a year, they don't look as good as they did the first day you saw them. You get used to them. Now you want to try somebody else. But, you were afraid of them. A woman spends a fortune making you look at her, and you're afraid to admit you're looking at her. How does that make sense? Look at guys like James Bond. He compliments all the women, and they all want to fuck him. But one of these guys in the industry, I don't want to mention his name, he says don't compliment women. The fuck is that? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. Do you know that all the seminars that I've gone to, that there was more than me speaking? If you listen to these guys, one of the most famous guys, after I went to his seminar, and he says, "How come after you talk you get out of here?" And I said, "Well, because what am I going to listen for? I'm going to help my game? No, I don't think there's no room for any help or anything. So what should I listen?" He said, "Just tell me what you think." So I sat down after I talked and listened to part of the seminar for 5 minutes, and I got up and I walked out. And after we had lunch together, he said to me, "How come you walked out?" I go, I listened to such bullshit. I couldn't take it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. What was being said, I wouldn't have said to anybody as advice. Now, that's me. Maybe I'm a know-it-all. I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I'm just focused. I notice things. I notice what she looks like, what turns me on. I notice how much time she spent getting ready for me to get turned on. I notice when she's pretending not to notice me. I can walk into a room and I can right away smell the woman that's wet. I believe we all have that ability. I'm no better than anybody else. I'm just in tune with my senses. We're animals like every animal species. We're programmed. We're just trying to overthink what nature gave us.
Dave, I was actually chatting to, I think it was my friend Yad about this, and, this whole indirect thing, that's kind of prevalent in just society in general, it just comes from, guys that are just taught by their mums and by kind of society that's just to be nice, And,
I want to tell you something. Let me just stop you right there.
Go for it.
I hear all this being nice all the time. Okay? And when I start with every student, I start like this. We only talk about history on the first session, because no matter how good you think I am, I can't help you for yesterday. So fucking get over it, or get a psychiatrist. I can't help you for that, and I don't want to. I don't want to help you for yesterday. Only want to help you for tomorrow. How you were brought up with your mom, and hey, when you're looking at a woman, are you thinking how your mom brought you up? Or fuck, I'd like to put her down on the fucking desk and fuck her right then and there. I'd like to feel her hot pussy around my dick.
Boom!
I'd like to feel her nails gripping into my ass as I'm fucking pumping her and her saying, harder, harder. I'm not thinking about what my mother said to me. I'm not thinking about what her mother said to her. You're worried about what their mothers said to them? Hey, I'm thinking about holding her ears when she's going down on me and coming right down her fucking throat.
Now we're getting there.
That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about how I was brought up. I have to be nice to the girl. I decided, I have a lot of students who have had problems because of religious background. Now, I got to tell you something. There's not as many Catholics in England as there is in Quebec or in Canada. And you know what the problem with the Catholics are? They were brought up to know they're another extreme, Muslim extremists, everything. You're Catholic. You're not allowed to jerk off or you're going to go to hell. You're not allowed to fuck before you're married or you're going to go to hell. You're not allowed to get divorced and fuck somebody else or you're going to go to hell. You're not allowed to fuck your friend's girlfriend or you're going to go to hell. You're not allowed to fuck these two girls with two of your friends. You're going to go to hell too. So you know what? I said to them, hell, what the fuck am I going to do in heaven? What the fuck would I want to go to heaven for? You can't fuck. You don't have a body, so you can't eat. What the fuck am I going to do there? So I decided I'm going to go to hell, so it don't matter anymore. I've resigned myself to that. So now, when I fuck her really hard, I'm not thinking of her mother. And I have to tell you honestly, I was a little cruel when I was younger. I tried to fuck every one of my friend's sisters. Just so I could tell my friends, hey, do you ever kiss your sister good night or goodbye? He goes, yeah. I go, it's like you're sucking on my dick.
Nice.
David X. He's my friend.
David X. Yep.
I mean, I don't care. They, you know what? The way I look at it is like this. They gotta be fucked by somebody.
So, Dave, with your students, for example, like the same with all the students who approach people like us, I guess, like, the first thing you have to kind of get into their head is what I was saying before, is because they think, well, I want to be nice and stuff, and you've got to change their focus from wanting to please people and all that kind of stuff to what they want. Yeah, that's the shift, isn't it?
Well, yes and no, because I send out a questionnaire to all my students, and in that questionnaire I get just some basic information, and we talk, and I get to know them, and to be honest, the first session is always longer than they pay for because I need to get to know them. I try to tailor make everybody's coaching to themselves, personal, and to their unique problems or fears or dislikes, and we confront everything head on. And once you look at it and you see it from, it's like you said, all the guys say and I'm one of the guys that's going to tell you the truth. I'm not a guy who's going to boast to you, oh, I fucked 12 girls last night, or you can't do this to a girl, or these guys, I have to be honest with you, like the guys in the lair groups. I mean, every lair group, to me, whenever I went to a lair meeting and spoke at a lair meeting, to me, I used to call them jerkle circles. It's like these guys were jerking off to each other's fucking bullshit stories. And the worst lair that I know of on this planet is the one in Scotland. I don't mind saying that, because any guy in the Scottish lair should fucking look at himself in the mirror, and if he doesn't see what I see, he should grab a rope and fucking hang himself and put himself out of the misery.
Are you talking about, are you talking about the old, keyboard jockey thing, right? People just talking about, just all talking and no action, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a joke.
Mm.
They're talking about, oh, I heard a better line. Oh, they're not focused on any woman. They're focused on impressing each other.
Yeah.
Something's like, what do you want me to say? You want me to sugarcoat it? No, I call it the way I see it. Any one of you guys walk into a lair meeting, after 5 minutes you look at it for what it is. It's a bunch of guys lying to each other, and that's where you get these stories that aren't true. That's where they're all trying this stuff, and they're the best consumers of all this stuff. They're all looking for magic words. Abracadabra, alakazam, and the girl lies down, spreads her legs, and rips off her panties.
But at the same time, Dave, I think that sometimes that it's a process that you've got to go through. I mean, it's a process I went through. I used to be that guy in back when I was sort of trying a bit of night game and bar game. I used to do the magic tricks because I thought that's what you had to do. That's what it said in the book, the game, And, now that, I just do day game, like me and Sasha do similar kind of stuff.
Let me ask you a question.
Go for it.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, but I want to ask you, I want to cut it to the chase. Do you find all that stuff got old?
It was bullshit. It was all rubbish. Yeah. Totally. But if somebody had
now let me ask you something.
Go.
When I'm talking to you, what do you feel? Level with me. What do you feel?
What do I feel?
I feel proud, Dave.
Yeah.
Proud
Sasha,
you're Canadian just like me.
Sasha, listen.
This
Sasha, no matter what
American,
you
by the
say,
way.
No, look, Dave, look. I wasn't lying to you at the start when I said,
Sasha, no matter what you say, I'm not letting you give me a blowjob, okay?
Yeah. No, Dave,
No,
honestly. Right.
No, I'm saying to you, here I am, a guy talking to you. Let me ask you this. Do you feel my sincerity?
I do, Dave, I do.
Okay, let me ask you something else. Do you feel my confidence?
It's seeping through the laptop into my groin cavity.
No, but do you
kinda funny.
feel the positive vibrations?
I do, Dave, yeah.
Now, I'm telling you, the same way you talk to me and I talk to you is the same way I would talk to a woman. Now, that will show you exactly you are, right away, you're capable of doing it.
Mm.
You can do it with me, you can do it with anybody else.
Mm.
You have to look for the thing that'll trigger you realizing that all these other guys are full of shit. Like, when I said to you, and I made you think when I said to you, you're never afraid of an ugly girl. And right away, you didn't say, well, right away you thought to yourself, fucking he's right. Yeah, he's right. So right away, I've got you thinking in a positive way, letting your mind help you along. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just getting you to realize, to think. I'm not going to tell you, try this line. Can I get your number because I've lost mine? You know, I heard that in a Lair group one time. They were talking about great lines to ask women. And I listened to that line and I said to myself, this fucking guy is lame. If I was a woman, I'd think he was the lamest fucking guy on this planet. No, they're thinking of a line. They haven't even met the woman. They don't know if she's wearing black, pink, red. When I see a woman that's sexy, I look at her and I go, are you feeling sexy because you're looking sexy? And if you're looking sexy, are you wearing sexy underwear? Or you don't need sexy underwear to look if you're sexy? And I tell her that once, and she'll give me an answer because she wants to give me an answer. She wants to hear that question. She wants you or me and the next guy to notice that she's sexy. But no, the guys in the Lair look at that girl and when she looks back at him, they look away.
Well, it sounds like the guys in the Lair need, they need guys like that. They need to hear more of David X. I think a lot of the time it's just because they don't have the right information, the right people to turn to, and the ones that are there providing information, they're the ones who are saying, oh yeah, you've got to use these tricks and magic, and these guys, they don't know any better.
So you know what? There's one thing I can tell them. Come to the seminar.
Hang on, Dave.
I'll go along with that.
This rolls quite nicely. Is there a summit, a seminar-like thing where people can come and see David X in London, perhaps?
Well, I have to
on
tell
November
you,
21st.
I believe I'll be in England, and you know what always happens at every seminar? I have to tell you, what always happens at every seminar, that after we take the breaks at the seminar, I get confronted by lots of guys. They want to ask me questions. And, I never tell them, okay, I got to go have a coffee or a drink. They come with me, and they're always around, like wanting to ask me more questions, and I enjoy talking to them. The reason they like to talk to me is because I'm not going to bullshit them. I'm not going to tell them this and that and the other. You got to realize something. I'm trying to look at a way that each person will individually understand. Usually it's because they're way thinking too much. If they put their brain on autopilot, they'll be getting laid like crazy. Again, the seminar that I'm coming to is, I believe, November 20th and 21st. Am I right, Sasha?
That's the one.
And I would tell you something. I would enjoy seeing people there, and I would enjoy answering any question that they can think to ask me. I think this is a great opportunity. I was supposed to come to the UK last April, but because of the volcano problem, it didn't work out. And I just hope that the guys who wanted to see me then will travel a little further to London and see me now.
Well, it's probably going to be less far because most people are coming from London. So,
yeah, and you're there the entire day, aren't you, Dave? One whole day of David X.
We might sneak a little guest in, but it's going to be pretty much a David X full day. It should be awesome.
I'll be there, but if I'm wanted, I'm there all the time. Don't worry about that.
Cool, okay. And I think I've talked to Sasha about this, but I'm not sure when you're flying in and when you're leaving. But hey, Dave, I would love to get you inside here, the podcast studio, and just do a proper podcast with you and have you right here. It'd be so much fun.
You know what you should do? I'll give you my flight and Alan's flight, and be at the airport to pick us up. We'll go faster rather than waste time. What's that?
Dave just gamed you into giving him a free lift from the airport. Did you see that?
A lift?
No,
right?
It's not. You know what, Sasha? I gotta tell you, it's not a free lift. All the expenses are in your pocket, so it's better for me up for you.
Nice. Shit, I forgot about that. I don't like where this is going.
Yeah. So you guys are flying in together on the same flight?
No, we're. It's just the flights are coming in like a half hour from each other.
Yeah. That was pretty close.
Do you reckon we should get Alan and Dave on the podcast at the same time in the studio? How cool would that be?
That would be really fucking nice.
That'd be pretty cool.
Sure. I told you, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, that'd be alright, love. We've got 4 mics here, and that could be sweet. That could be really cool.
Yeah, that would be mental.
Yeah, you know what? Get yourself a couple of cans of soda or a pot of coffee. You know, and we'll come right from the airport to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We could do it Friday, like the day before the event, and just put it out the same day.
Yeah, we could.
Whatever.
Get it out immediately.
Yeah, that could be pretty exciting, actually. Yeah, all right.
The day before.
And when you guys flying home, you going to stay here for a little bit and check out London and hang out for a bit?
We're gonna be there on. When is the 24th? What day is the 24th?
They're gonna be there from pretty much till Wednesday. They're gonna Thursday to Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're going to Amsterdam.
Nice.
Yep. Oh, they're gonna have a great time. Yeah. Dave, of course, is gonna be on his best behavior because he's married now, so there's no more.
Of course, yeah.
I'm always on my best behavior.
Hey, Dave, I've got a question for you actually, because this is the Day Game podcast, and obviously Day Game is about meeting women in the daytime as opposed to bars and
seedy clubs.
And I asked Alan the same question. Are you a fan of Day Game? Are you meeting women during the daytime, or are you more a fan of clubs and bars?
To tell you the truth, I would say it doesn't matter what time. It starts in the minute I wake up and stops the minute I go to bed. But when I used to go to clubs and bars, it was to get laid. When I went out during the day, I could meet somebody and then I'd make a second rendezvous, because let's say I met somebody in a grocery store, or, and I was just talking to them, or I met somebody at a car wash, or or a garage, or it doesn't matter where, I would talk to them and I would probably make a second meeting. But when you go into a bar, I think you're going to a bar with only one thing in mind, or at least I went to a bar with only one thing in mind. So being that focused, I used to be very successful. If I went to a bar to pick up women, I didn't leave till I picked up a woman, so it was just a matter of when. So day game, night game, it all depends,
where you see the girl.
I'll tell you a story that Sasha hasn't heard before.
Is it a Day Game story?
I think it's going to be one.
It's sort of. I'll tell you what it is. I had met this girl, and it was already our second date. Okay, I was going over to her house, and she was going to make me dinner. And on the way over to her house, I went down from my apartment and I walked into my car, because instead of having it in Canada, we usually have our cars in the garages underneath our buildings because it's so cold. But it wasn't a cold day, and I had my car outside in the parking lot because I knew when I came home from work I was going to run out again, rather than put it all the way in the garage and have to go in and open the garage, the door, and then drive around and then in the garage to park the car. So I left it outside in front. So I'm walking outside in front, and I see this girl walking out of the other building across the driveway of the garage. And she was really good looking. And she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and I'm telling her, can I give you a lift someplace? She goes, I don't know you. So I said, I live right over there. Why don't you come into my building, come into my apartment, sit down, we'll have a cup of coffee or a drink or a beer or a soda, and then after you'll get to know me so I can drive you wherever you want to go. So she laughed and says, sure, she'll take a lift. She says she was going to go to take the public transit, but she'll take a lift from me. So I says, where are you going? Now, where she was going was completely the opposite direction of where that other girl lived. But I have a girl that just got into my car, and she's not objecting to me driving her to where she's going. So I tell her, it's really not that much out of my way. Let me take you to where you're going. So I'm driving to where she's going, and I pulled a couple of my little tricks, and I touched her hand, and right away she was so responsive. So when I got to where she was going, I said, can I get to see you again? She goes, would you like to come up? Well, the girl just told me I'd like to come up, but I got another girl waiting for me with supper, and I figure I'm going to get fucked. But I got this girl telling me to come up. So I go in the house with her. We start making up, and I ended up fucking her the first night. And I leave there, and my phone is ringing off the hook. I answer it, and she says, what the hell happened to you? I waited for you all night. You know, the whole 9-yard routine. And I look at her and I go, I was driving to your house, and there was this girl hitchhiking, and I picked her up, and I brought her to her apartment, and I fucked her. And she stops for a second and says, no, tell me what really happened. So I said to her, I have to tell you, I'm a bastard. I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have stood you up. Can I make it up to you? And she said to me, she says, come over anyway. So here I am. I just fucked all night. And I go over to her house, and I know that if she smells my dick, she'd smell pussy on it. And I tell her, she's going to make me breakfast. And I tell her, you know what? I'm going to go take a shower. I need to take a shower because I wanted to get the fucking smell off me, you know? I went into her shower, and she comes in there with a glass of orange juice, and I dry myself off, I get dressed, and I come back out, and I tell her, thanks for breakfast, and I eat my breakfast, we're talking, and she says, she says to me, I'm going to make you come back tonight, because we didn't have a date last night. And I said, sure, great idea. And I left, and when I got back that night, she said, I didn't think I was going to fuck you when you first were supposed to come over. And then when you stood me up, I was thinking of all the different ways I was going to pay you back. And she says, I like the fact that you weren't afraid to confront me after you fucked up. And I fucked her that night. And I thought to myself, this fucking truth shit really works. If you lie to them, they know you're lying. If you tell them the truth, they don't believe you. When you stop thinking about talking about, everything works. And I can guarantee, from what I've spoken to Sasha, anytime he's trying to figure out a woman, he's been wrong. You can't figure them out. They don't think like we do. It's like we're two different species when it comes to reason.
I'll tell you what, Dave. I know you said you don't know too much about what other guys teach, but one thing that I think is very, very prominent in this kind of like body of knowledge is the first thing people, when they arrive in it, the first questions they're asking is, what do women want? You know, what women are attracted to? What are the traits that turn women on? How can I be more attractive? And that's kind of like step one, and they focus on, you know, what they can change and the way they behave and all these kind of things. But then you get to a certain point, and this is the real kind of the real turning point where people start getting real, true success. And it's when they get to the point where they think, fuck it, I don't even care anymore. Like, I don't care what they want anymore. And then the shift turns from thinking about what they want to then focusing on what you want. And that's when the real kind of success comes. And that's when I think people are more
I
open
can
to
only tell
Ian Allen.
I can only tell you that's definitely what I preach and what I say. But I can't, I can't grasp the feeling of the realization. I've always had that realization. So I can't grasp the awakening. You understand? You have to be able to relate to something like that, and I can't. Not that I don't want to, I couldn't. It's been like natural to me. You know, it's like some of the homework assignments I give out. They ask me if I've ever done it, and I tell them no, because I don't need to.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, I hope all the guys listening to me will definitely come to the seminar in England.
And then come. Way!
What's that?
Get it? They'd come to the seminar, and then they'd be able to... Oh, forget it.
Yeah, I got that, but definitely have some time. I will definitely have some time put aside for any questions that anybody would want to ask me.
Yeah, great. And, yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, every single guest we get on here, I always like to end it with, like, one thing that people can go out right now and try, you know, when... I like it because I know we don't like to give, like, you know, your best tip or anything like that, but something that guys can go out and try right now. They think, well, I'm going to try a bit of the David X stuff, and you know, then they've got something to
Well,
talk
let
about.
them try to come to the seminar, and I'll give them tons of stuff.
Perfect.
But right now, I can only tell you one
I
thing.
like that.
I can only tell you one thing right now, and it's this in the form of a question.
Go for it.
Do you know why dogs lick their balls?
Is there an answer to the question, or is the question...
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
No, I do not.
Do you want to know why dogs lick their balls?
Yes.
Maybe.
Because they can.
It's that simple, Andy. It's really that simple. It is actually that simple.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay.
Just like you can come up to girls and tell them exactly what you want.
Okay, cool. Well, look, Dave, this has been amazing. It's been nice to finally chat to the man himself, and you know, whether we do the podcast with you and Alan before the you know, the event or after, if it is,
Definitely.
yeah, if it is after, then either way, I'm gonna see you guys when you land in London. And yeah, man, thanks for the chat. It's been good.
Dave, as always.
Yeah, and you know what? When it comes to the chat with Alan, I do definitely believe you better run it by him first. I can't talk or answer for him.
Yeah, Alan's down, man.
Oh
Alan's
no,
down.
yeah, we've spoken.
Yeah.
That's fine. He's
Alan loves it.
yeah, he's down for that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be Alan, Dave, Yosha, Sasha, four-way experience. Not necessarily sexual, but possibly so. It's a small studio, Dave. That's all I'm saying. It's a small studio. Anything could happen.
Okay, guys.
All right, you jiggle your crackers in excitement. We love you, man. We'll see you. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Okay.
All right, peace out, buddy.
Excellent. Thanks, Dave. See ya.
Ciao.
Bye.
The Day Game Podcast.
There you go, David X, the man himself.
There it was, right there.
Okay, God. I like him. He's nice. He seems. You can always tell when you're talking to somebody and they're, like you said, genuine, and there's no front, man. There's no mask. I like that.
No.
And what do you think?
Dave is Dave. He's a real dude. He's awesome.
How did you find the interview?
It was good. It was good. I mean, again, like me. First of all, it's late. We were waiting for Dave to get into his house for like hours, and I've spoken to Dave so much. I know this stuff. Like I really know all the stuff he's talking about. I've sort of really started to internalize it. So I was quite happy to sit back and be relaxed, Sasha, which never happens. Let's be honest, and let you chat with him. But I had a realization there when he was talking, which was it's funny because he was saying like he's known for a long time. He just was born with it. You could just fucking tell the truth, and that's great. But it's been hitting me slowly more and more and more and more. And what I was actually thinking now was that, you know what? Some guys will hear this and go, you can't do that. You can actually walk up to women and tell them exactly what you're thinking, no matter how X-rated it is, and they're still not going to stab you. You can actually walk up to women and go, you have a really fucking sexy body. I would love to fuck the shit out of you sometime. You can do that kind of stuff, and not all the time, and it takes calibration. But I want to get to that point where I actually feel comfortable with it, where I can actually look at a woman and know, by the way she looks at me or the way she's dressed, that she's up for that, and walk up to her and just be like, damn, you look amazing. We should exchange orgasms sometime, and be 100% serious. I'm starting to do it a little bit, but it's more, when I talk to a girl or during a date or whatever, but I'm just, oh, fuck. The little creature just ran right across the floor. That's nice. But no, it's amazing. Like when it's really starting to hit me. Like you can be completely honest with women. It doesn't have to be to that degree. Just, hey, you look really hot, and I'd like to get to know you. Let's get together sometime. But you just don't need any fucking bullshit. You don't need it. You can just say what you want to say, and that's it. And all women can do is tell you to fuck off. They're not interested, or have a chat with you, get to know you a little bit, or go, yeah, cool, all right, let's do it. That's it. And and I've been doing that last couple of weeks, just being really straight to the point, talking less, being less funny, being more direct, and you know what? Less is more. Guys are trying to do all this fancy shit. You don't need any fancy shit. Just be confident, look them in the eyes, and tell them you want to hook up with them. That's it.
I know. It's what me and Yad are saying this all the time, that one of the biggest pieces of advice we give students is, because they're always doing stuff, they're always kind of like, it's like a performance, and like, yeah, you watch videos of great video, watch the video of Yad doing the kiss close, and some of the comments underneath are like, oh, but you're not kenoing, you're not doing this, and it's like, because he's not doing anything.
You don't need to do anything. You don't need to do anything. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm the prime example. You watch my videos, it's like Mr. Clown, Mr. Haha.
But it's funny though. I mean, come on, that's. But you're not trying to, be.
No, that's who I am. Yeah. I mean, I'm a fucking clown. But you know what? My success is going up as I'm turning that down. I'm getting more. It's just, I don't need to do all that stuff. I'll do it when I actually am. I'm seeing a girl and we're comfortable and I can joke around and stuff. But when you actually meet someone, I'm realizing you'll actually get less flakes by saying less, and you can have a really if you're direct about your intentions, you don't need to talk to a girl for 20 minutes. And it's funny because I've been teaching that for a long time. Sure, you want comfort, talk to the girl a long time, really get to know her. You don't have to get to know her at all. If you're actually really clear, like, you're really hot, I want to get to know you. When are we hooking up? Friday or Saturday? How about tomorrow? Let's get a fucking coffee tomorrow and have a chat and get to know each other. You're really sexy. And she goes, all right, yeah, cool, let's do that. You don't need to say shit. You'll fuck things up by talking to her more, because you're already this mysterious dude, confident dude. Get her number and fucking meet up with her. That's it. You don't need to do jack. Honestly, you don't. It's hitting me like a ton of bricks. You don't need to do shit. I did a pickup just over a week ago. This is what the woman was working behind the bar. I looked at her. I said, "Hey, you're sexy. Come here for a second." I point over to the side door, where the bar is. She comes over. I go, "Hey, you look really amazing. Are you married?" She goes, "No." I go, "I'd really like to get to know you. We should get together next week." She goes, "Yeah, all right." I said, "Cool." I spoke to her another 30 seconds. Just, "Oh, do you work? Just work here? Do you do other stuff? Blah blah blah." 30 seconds. All right, cool. How do I get in touch? Let me get your number. Awesome. I'll give you a shot. That was it. And she's replying to the text, man. She's just like, "Yeah, cool. Come meet me after work for a drink, whatever." That's it. And it was just I was just 100% confident. I didn't waste any fucking time, not a word. That was it. And it was just, and it was fine. And I'm shocked. I'm shocked. That's how little I did. And it was, and I know, yeah, it takes a while. You got to be comfortable with yourself. You got to get to that point. But you know what, guys? You can start. You can just fucking try it out. Just take your fucking balls in your hand, walk to women, and just ask them out. Tell them they're hot and ask them out. The fuck?
Yeah.
What's the worst case scenario?
I guess the disclaimer is that it is. I don't want to say the word advanced, but there's people have to go for a lot to get to that point. Like, I mean, I tell guys honestly, like the natural day game model, the thing that me and Yad talk about a lot. I do it, but it's more kind of breaking down what I really do naturally now, into the point where when I go up to a girl now, I'm not thinking about any kind of process. I'm doing what you're saying. I'm just like, it's more. But what we're talking about now is more something for guys to aim for. They know what they're heading for, you know. And a lot of guys might focus on the wrong thing and think that they might look at you know, a guy doing pickup and he's doing this like techniques and hypnotic wits and weird things, and they think, oh, that's the destination. That's where I want to go because that looks good, you know. But it's not. That's not where you need to be. You need to be heading towards what you just said, Sasha. Where, you know, you're just going up and saying, look, you know.
Yeah. You know what? It's almost funny. I find it almost humorous because when I started out, when I got back into this whole thing, you know, in 2007, 2008, you know, it was all about the openers. I was coming up with the perfect thing to say in all these situations, and yeah, they were great. They were funny, and
I just shit my pants.
I just shit. You're so hot. You made me shit my pants. You owe me $4 for new underwear. Hilarious. Well, get you laid, not necessarily, but very funny. But it was all about that. And then now it's just like, you know what? None of that shit matters. The only thing that matters is your intent. Coming up to her and telling her what you feel and what you want. That's it. It doesn't fucking matter. If you want to come up and say something funny, fine, if that's really what you want to say. But if you really want to say, you're the hottest girl I've seen in a year and a half, and I'd really like to get to know you, say that.
You know, I think this thing actually goes in phases. I think phase one is you're not trying to get laid, you're not trying to do anything, it's just going over fear. And that's when you just go up and just say stupid shit and just have some fun, right? Have some fun. That's like the first stage.
Yeah,
get over the fear.
Enjoy it, yeah.
And once you're not scared of girls anymore, and you think, okay, maybe this is fine, then I think, you know, like, you know, the natural day game model, the structure, the pre-frame open, bridge transition, all that kind of stuff, awesome. They can get into it. You can really get into it now, you know. But then when you kind of master that, you can literally start forgetting about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you got to learn it and just forget it. Like now, it's like I find people talking about the best opener. I find it humorous. Yeah. I'm just like, what best opener? When you looked at a woman, what did you want to say to her? Why didn't you fucking say it? Go over there and fucking tell her. Go over and tell her. Whatever the fuck it is, go and tell her. I love your walk. You got a sexy walk. You got an amazing body. You're gorgeous. Hey, you look like my... If you look at her and you think, you know, you look exactly like my friend Tina, go and say that shit because that's what you're thinking and it'll come off natural. Because if you come over and you're like, no, seriously, you look exactly like my friend. It's really fucking creepy. What the fuck's going on here? And you talk to her about it, you know, have a little joke about it and be like, well, anyway, hey, you're fucking sexy, by the way. You know, what's up? And that's it. And go from there. But just whatever you're thinking, that's what you should be talking about. Forget about everything else. You don't need that shit. You don't need anything.
I like it. If only there was a summit or a seminar that was
teaching us if there was only some sort of event that could teach us this kind of stuff, that would be amazing.
Oh man, this podcast is quite long. I think we've got to wrap it up at some point. But yeah, again, guys, come on, go to the Direct Dating Summit. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Honestly, Dave and Alan and you know, Bad Boy's there as well. So.
Everyone's there.
Everyone's there.
And very soon there'll be another special announcement of who's coming, other than Yad, which we've sort of leaked before. Yad's coming. Yeah, but there'll be someone else too.
Cool. All right, guys. Wow, what a podcast. That was awesome. No idea who's gonna be on the next one. I don't know if we're going to match up to David X now, but, you know, hey, that's still good. Hopefully, maybe we can match the amount of comments we got, you know.
Fuck, that's going to be tough to beat. That's going to be mental.
Yeah, you guys, if you've got any comments, please post comments.
Post them up.
And look, we got Alan he's actually a regular kind of commenter on the site now. You know, he was answering you guys' questions. So, hey, if you guys got any questions for Dave, leave some comments. We'll get in touch with Dave, get him to come on the site and answer some questions for you guys. So,
yep, I'll ask him to come. If you guys ask the questions, I'll make sure Dave comes on.
Wicked. All right, well, cheers for coming in again, Sasha. Always a pleasure.
Always a good time, my friend.
Nice. And yeah, so cheers for listening, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.
See ya. Peace out.
Keep updated at facebook.com/daygame
or twitter.com/AndyYosha.
Or for free videos and articles on how you can improve your day game,
go to www.daygame.com.